Hello everyone and welcome back to twitch.tv/gameswithnick. Today we are playing one of my favorite point-and-click adventures of all time, Sherlock Holmes: The Case of the Silver Earring. This is the first of the Sherlock Holmes games made by Frogwares. We will definitely on this channel at some point play through The Awakened, Nemesis, also known as Versus in Lupin, and versus Jack the Ripper. And then in recent years, they've gone a more like BBC Sherlock slash Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock vibe with like Devil's Daughter and First Chapter or whatever they called the last one. And I feel like the quality has been going down a little bit because of it, just because we don't get this beautifully crafted narrative anymore. This is a standard point and click adventure, third person with you click things out. So yeah, let's just get right into it.
Dear Mr. Holmes, please let me thank you one more time for your help in solving the case of the Turkish medallion. I'm sure that if the story could go public, the whole country would be as grateful as I am to you. As you may have surmised, I have a very urgent and confidential matter which requires your immediate assistance. You probably are aware that we are going to celebrate the birthday of a very important person, a member of the government. I can't mention their name in this letter for obvious reasons. The most famous and accomplished artists were selected and invited to perform. We are confident about their reputations. However, we have concerns about one performer in particular, a young Italian diva, Gallia, as there are certain rumours circulating about her. She has also provoked great acclaim in every European capital where she has appeared. We want to include her in this gala event, but have reservations about her reputation. She is, as fortune would have it, in London for another engagement. Sir Bromsby has invited her to perform during a reception to commemorate the return of his daughter to England. Due to reasons of politics and security, I can't attend the reception myself. Apart from yourself, I do not know anyone else I would be able to complete a mission of such importance. Together with this letter, I am sending two invitations, as I assumed your eminent colleague, Dr. Watson, would be accompanying you. A cab will arrive at 221B Baker Street at 8 p.m. to take you to Sherringford Hall. Even though I know that the prospect of attending a private concert given by perhaps the best voice in Europe is very attractive for a music lover like yourself, please allow nothing to distract you from this important mission. Yours sincerely, Lord Cavendish Smith.
How can we refuse a mission of such importance? Appearances to the contrary, I believe that the future of the nation can depend on our presence. Are you with me?
If the future of the nation depends upon our presence, Holmes, then you can count on me.
So sadly, these cinematics don't have subtitles. We'll have subtitles starting in a minute, but
Please come right in. According to the request of Lord Cavendish Smith, during the dinner you'll be seated together.
What do you know about Sir Bromsby, Holmes?
I have never met the man, and I do not follow what is written in the newspapers. However, I can tell you that Sir Bromsby is a man of approximately 50 years old, tall in stature. He is impulsive and may be prone to violent outbursts. He is of low birth, has few intimate friends, and does not like women. He must be a very aggressive businessman who would not hesitate to go beyond the law if it served his purposes. I'd like to add that today he is going to make a very important declaration concerning his business. And you, Watson, what have you heard about him?
Well, I doubt that I would be able to give as detailed a description as you have just recited. Holmes, how can you say you do not know the man and give such an account?
Watson, you know my methods. Look at the stage and the stand near the fireplace. It is obvious that they are prepared for a very tall man. I see the hostess and servants anxiously glancing in the direction of a door from which their employer must enter. Their expressions go beyond nerves and suggest fear. Only a violent and unpredictable man can cause such anguish. Now look at the guests. The men present at this party are mainly composed of military officers and rich entrepreneurs. All of them are in their 50s and are clearly business associates, so I decided that he is of their age. Furthermore, to have risen as rapidly as he has in this society, Sir Bromsby would have to be a very ruthless and intelligent businessman. The women present reveal much. Beautiful women and young girls, all neatly but rather cheaply dressed. Watson, look more carefully. There are no chaperones. No ladies would appear in public without suitable escort, I assure you. They stare at the youngest gentleman to find a convenient cavalier and cluck like chickens at the smallest idiocy. In short, a man who would invite only business associates and women of the lower classes to the birthday party of his only child must have few friends, rather poor taste in women, and little regard for his daughter. Another item of note, but not the least, observe that group of men speaking very quickly. It's a group of reporters armed with their notebooks gathered together now that the time of the address is coming. These are not the society reporters for the Times sent to cover a gala birthday party. These are the regular reporters who would come only to gain news about the future of the Bromsby Empire. I will conclude by saying that no man, except a lunatic, would accept such an arrangement of tables and furniture. Look quickly, Watson. I hear applause. Sir Bromsby is coming.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me thank you all for attending this special reception. In fact, this moment is a turning point for many people.
Watson, quick! Tell Miss Lambert not to allow anyone to leave and to send a man for the police immediately.
Alright, let me adjust the volume a little bit on my end. Alright, that's better. Okay. So this is probably the... First of all, I just love everything that he said about everything, because I think this game really captured who Sherlock Holmes is in a very great way.
Excuse me if I may. I am Sherlock Holmes.
What do you wish to know?
Now, this is probably the hardest part of the game, because we have to thoroughly examine everything with Sherlock before the game lets us continue.
Who are you?
I'm the doctor from the village near the hall.
So I hope I won't get stuck.
Is he still breathing?
He died instantly.
Where is the bullet?
It's still in the body. I must obtain police authorization to extract it.
Thanks, Doctor.
Never mind.
Good day. My name is Sherlock Holmes. Would you mind if I asked several questions?
If it helps you.
What precisely was your relationship with the victim?
We were partners with the old scoundrel. I'm sorry, Sir Bromsby. He personally invited me. He gave me every assurance there would be plenty of fresh meat, if you take my meaning.
Ooh, gross.
Well, there was, but some of it was quite cold.
Oh, gross.
Were you an associate of the victim?
Yes, he seems so much bigger when he's lying down rather than standing.
Did you notice anything peculiar at the time of the shooting?
I jumped up, and then I looked in the direction of the shot. There, I saw that little flirt, Miss Bromsby. She seemed to be placing something in her handbag amid a cloud of smoke. Then she rushed to the stage. I must say, her sudden inheritance should be a fine present for her birthday.
Well, thank you very much.
You are icky from every point of view, really. Alright, let's see. What else have we got around here? We should talk to this gentleman.
That shot was dreadful, wasn't it?
It's neither the first nor probably the last I shall hear in my life. Tell me, young man, are you a barman or not? Because I'm dying from thirst.
I am not.
Did you have a personal relationship with Sir Bromsby?
What impertinence! I I will answer questions of this nature only if they issue from my superiors or the authorities, and you, sir, are neither of those.
Well,
All right.
I must leave you now.
All right, young man.
How about you? Do you have anything to tell me?
Excuse me, could you answer some questions?
You're quite welcome.
Where were you at the moment this tragedy occurred?
Like all the servants, I was in the ballroom. 'Twas the special orders of the old crab. In my opinion, it was done in particular to have more people there to applaud him. Canny old bird, wasn't he?
What sort of man was Sir Bromsby? I mean, as an employer.
Troublesome and bad-tempered, but he paid well.
Are you personally at the service of the Bromsby family?
Yes, there are 5 of us who serve in Sherringford Hall. There are Mary and Sue, the maids, Carl, our chef, Lamb, Sir Bromsby's coachman, and myself. All the rest were brought in just for the reception.
And where are the rest of the staff?
Mary is cleaning downstairs. Sue went to comfort some little goose who had been crying bitterly. It's rather odd because it seemed to me she started crying before Sir Bromsby was shot.
And the coachman?
Lamb is at the main gate. Miss Lambert gave him specific instructions to throw out any reporters and ensure they do not re-enter the hall. However, it would not be good if he finds you've been asking questions here. Tell me, will my name appear in the newspaper?
Thank you for your help.
My pleasure, sir.
Anything around here? No.
You do not seem the least bit alarmed.
In India, I became quite familiar with the sound of gunshots. Therefore, their sudden occurrence does not alarm me as they would a woman or certain officers in attendance.
Why didn't you intervene?
It would have been of no use. Whoever he is, the man who did this is either a perfect shot or extremely lucky, because old Bromsby had no chance at all.
Could you explain your presence at this reception?
Bromsby sent me 2 invitations for myself and the wife. My wife has fainted due to the shock of these events. I do hope her condition will last a good while longer, so that I may toss off several glasses of this excellent sherry.
Very well. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Alright.
The first handwriting is small and elegant. The second is hurried and forceful. This is a woman's handwriting. What do all these annotations mean?
Alright, let's see. So this is our map. The documents are here. So this is the letter of Sir Cavendish Smith, which he read to us in the intro. Program celebratory program in honor of the return of Miss Lavinia Bromsby away for 6 years to the Swiss boarding school and her 18th birthday. There would be an address, French dinner, recital literature by Philharmonic Orchestra of Uxbridge, interpretation of Faust opera extracts by famous diva Gallia, garden party with English treatment. Speech of Sir Bromsby. Acknowledgements. If a notable person is present, do not forget to acknowledge them. You welcome your daughter, you then invite her to enter the ballroom. When she's on stage, you make your speech for the journalists. Don't forget the villager and the serpent. Shooting at pigeons isn't mentioned in program. Miss Lambert added this at the last moment. Don't forget to mention this. In the guest list, we have some X's and O's and things of the sort. Hey. I know what those mean. Alright. Anything over here? No. Except the young lady.
Please, sir, I have nothing to tell you. Everyone everyone stands ready to accuse me of this foul deed. I have done nothing. I have only seen my father die before my very eyes on day of my majority.
This young lady tells the truth. I can attest to her every move since she first appeared in the doorway. Beg your pardon for speaking so boldly, miss.
Where were you at the moment of the shooting?
I was near the bar speaking with Colonel Patterson. Everybody started applauding and turning towards the stage. I turned to look through the crowd.
What did you see?
Did you notice anything in particular?
When one of the doors opened, I did see a person hidden from the other's view. A beautiful young lady stood just at the threshold. I felt somewhat ashamed for staring at her so intensely, but her considerable charms captured my full attention until the dreadful shooting took place.
Are you sure it was Miss Bromsby?
Yes, Colonel Patterson was next to me and can confirm what I saw. It seems to me that no one else was near us at that precise moment.
What is your reason for being here?
I owe it to Colonel Patterson. We met each other several days ago at his club. He kindly persuaded me to accompany him.
So that red uniform, by the way, is the traditional military force of the Victorian Age British uniform.
Sir, now will you answer my questions?
I am listening to you.
Where were you precisely when the tragedy occurred?
We had been standing at the bar until the shot rang out, and I personally remained at the bar after it.
Did you happen to notice Miss Bromsby at that moment?
Impossible. My eyesight is so deucedly poor that I would not even notice if a fly fell into my whiskey.
Really?
Yes, damn shame. But I have a fine ear. I can offer much when the questions are about sounds. I can tell you that from all the applause, that old Bromsby had arrived and entered from my right. For the sound to have carried so well, the crowd must have been parted in that direction. I will add that if Lieutenant Harrington says that he saw a flea dancing with a fly in this place, you can take it on trust.
Okay. Anything else?
Is there anything else you recall?
Well, hold on a moment. I do have a scoop for your tabloid. I can assure you that Bromsby was killed with a right revolver of small caliber.
I'm not
How long
a reporter.
Lieutenant Harrington?
We met at my officers' club several days ago. A brave boy, you can believe me. What could be better than to invite him to be my guest at this reception, where he could make many fair acquaintances?
Thank you for this information, sir.
Colonel to you.
Do you have anything else to
Were
add?
you at that precise spot at the moment of the murder?
Indeed, I was standing just there. I could easily see the door because there were so few people in front of me.
What did you do right after the shot was fired?
I left the room as did almost everyone. I must leave now and make my excuses to Miss Lavinia for my behaviour, don't you think?
Thank you for your help.
It was not a problem.
Let me go back to talk to. Actually, I can probably just do this and this. Nope. They won't let me. Alright, we have a conversation to finish.
I beg you, please leave me. I will answer only to the authorities.
What about you, old man?
Let me introduce myself. I am Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, Mr. Holmes, the infamous detective. We are heaven blessed by your presence. I am afraid I am still in shock.
Tell us what you saw.
I was behind Sir Bromsby when it all happened. I am sorry, but as such I could not see anything of interest. But I am convinced that Miss Lavinia had nothing to do with it.
Whom do I have the pleasure of addressing?
Oh, I forget myself. We haven't been properly introduced. I am Herman Grimble, advisor to the late Sir Melvyn Bromsby and minority shareholder of Bromsby Enterprises.
So you knew Sir Bromsby well, then?
What a sad end for such a great man. We first met in India several years ago. That would have been before the birth of Miss Lavinia. We have been business associates and friends ever since that moment.
What sort of man was Sir Bromsby?
He was a man with strong character that at times seemed excessive. He was unyielding, but he was a good man.
Have you any knowledge about the succession of his business interests?
I believe that Sir Bromsby had drawn up his will with his attorney and friend Horace Fowlett. When it is read, we will know more about the specifics, but I can assure you that nothing therein would threaten Bromsby Enterprises.
And where is this Mr. Fowlett?
He must have been here, because he would have most certainly been invited. Although he is hardly a person of high society. Where could he be, I wonder?
We have found Sir Bromsby's speech. There's something quite puzzling about it.
Ah, you talk about the notes that I left for him. Sir Bromsby always improvised his speeches in public as well as in business. Nevertheless, it was still necessary to remind him about particular points. So I sometimes made notes for him on a sheet of paper. Hold on, he must have made that odd notation himself. It says something about a peasant and a snake. What could it mean?
Well, I was hoping you would tell me, honestly.
Did Sir Bromsby have any enemies?
Oh, there are always those who envy a man who is successful in business. But to say that Sir Bromsby had enemies? No, I cannot think of anyone who would desire his death.
Thank you very much.
I am at your disposal.
Are you gonna... No, she's still not gonna talk to me. Okay. Oh, sorry. Clicked outside the window. Let's go this way then. I don't think I'm missing anything yet.
Excuse me, but would you be Mary?
What do you want, mister?
Did you hear the shot?
Of course, I heard everything. But I didn't stop my work. Imagine that someone else had been killed and not my master. He would have given me a good talking to.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
What's happened here, on this carpet?
An idiot from Hertford's turned over the fowl. Sir Bromsby passed by without even taking notice. It did seem his mind was elsewhere these days. Of course, it was probably because of Miss Lavinia's homecoming.
What do you think of your employer?
He could be the very devil at times, but not the worst. If you had just known my father.
Oh, boy.
My master was so generous with our wages.
Did you observe anyone pass this way after the shot was fired?
No one's come this way, not from the moment I returned after emptying my bucket, and the whole while I've been cleaning. I only saw Scott, who was in the ballroom. He half opened the door to tell me the news.
Alright.
Mary?
Not to worry, sir.
Blue tablecloths, yet they are shorter than the white ones used in the ballroom.
Alright.
Nothing of any interest here.
Okay. Keep going along.
I need something.
Alright.
I need something.
No. Test tube.
is dust. Excellent! A small caliber pistol. A Wright model. Train and ship tickets from Geneva to London.
Right. Crosses over. We're gonna have to have another chat with Miss Lavinia.
This room was rarely used. Everything else is in order. A textbook to study French. A calling card written in French.
Alright, we should check some of those documents. Louis-Philippe de la Muselière, Imperial Head Waiter and Wine Waiter, Emeritus Knight of Frankfurters of the centuries-old Assembly Poitou. Alright,
Very interesting. What a pleasant picture. And this lady is wearing a very nice earring.
Pretty young girl. The future good actress with all my encouragement, Veronica Davenport.
I need something. I need something.
No? Test tube? Yes.
Look, what's this?
Some different white patterns. Doesn't look like there's anything else over here. I don't believe there's anything else for me to do in this room. What else?
I need something. I need something.
Nope.
Curious, this flaky ash does not come from this cigar.
Okay.
Look, what's... It's a pair of moustache scissors. Red, greasy hair.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. Ooh, move up. Move up. Thank you. Oh, actually no. Go back.
I need something. I need something.
Tape measure. Yes.
It is a size 7.
Alright. Gotta pay attention to shoe tracks.
It smells of gunpowder. I need... The tracer powder is located at 1 meter 65 from the surface. This black cloth is large enough to conceal a person.
No? You're not gonna... I guess there's too many tracks here, huh? That's the problem.
I need something. It is a poor copy of a uniform button. The cannon insignias are hand-drawn. This is diabolically heavy.
Alright.
May I help you? Hello? Are you aware of what has just happened?
Yes, it seems that our master has got himself killed. Scott told me that much. On his daughter's birthday. And all these nice dishes. It took me so long to prepare them. What a disaster.
There's somebody doing a very bad British accent in a changed voice.
How would you describe...
Thank God he doesn't have a lot of dialogue.
As an employer, he was not easily satisfied, always insisting on some Indian or French dish. That old fowlet put it into Sir Bromsby's head that this Frenchman prepare better meals than the English. He would have had my master eating frogs stuffed with snails if he could.
I mean, you know, English cuisine, not known for its
A
quality.
Frenchman?
Yes, a squint-eyed Frenchman. That must be done like this, and this must be placed like that. Well, he may well be a connoisseur of fine cuisine and service, but of everything else... Miss Lambert dared not even contradict him about the tablecloth's colour, though Bromsby hated white and insisted on blue to match the colour of the daughter's eyes. And look how he placed the tables in the ballroom. I have never seen tables arranged in such a manner.
The lid of your dustbin is quite heavy.
It makes some noise, doesn't it? At least we know when somebody closes it. I was in the cellar and I heard the lid closing a little before that, what you said was the shot. I heard it again right after, but that surely must have been Mary, our maid.
You say it was Mary, the housemaid. How can you be sure?
The first time I saw her with my own eyes, when she came to empty the rubbish. She cautioned me not to fall asleep in the storeroom. She always has something amusing to say. The second time, I didn't see her. I only heard the lid close.
Okay.
I will let you get back to your work.
All right. Good night, sir.
Alright, anything else in here? I don't think so. Oh, actually there might be something over here.
Nothing of any interest here.
Never mind.
Nothing of any interest here.
Just wanted to see if it was trying to trick me.
Train and ship. Nothing of any... Look, what's this? Black hair. It is not the time to join, Watson. I have not examined everything.
I feel like I'm missing some of these tracks, but... Let's try talking with everyone again. Lavinia Bromsby definitely has some new...
Sir?
Did you know the Frenchman?
Oh, he chatters on like all the French. I don't think he came back.
Thank you for your help.
My pleasure, sir.
Young man.
Okay, nothing else. What about you?
Can I be you?
Nothing else. Oh. You haven't talked to yet.
I would like to ask you several questions, if you don't mind.
If I can be of help, sir?
What were you doing when the tragedy happened?
I was serving those two gentlemen. As I was occupied, I saw nothing.
Are you one of the household staff?
No, I was sent by the Hartford agency to serve at the reception.
Alright.
All right. You may take or leave.
Good evening, sir.
What more?
Okay.
Well, thank you.
How about you?
Sir?
Thanks. No.
Any more?
Did you go to the well during the reception?
Yes, I went there once to empty my bucket. But that was before the dreadful shooting happened.
Only once?
I told you, only the one time. I even called out to that lout Carl not to fall asleep. Oh, he spends his time drinking in the storeroom, and I often find him asleep there. Oh, but please, sir, you won't mention any of that to Miss Lambert, will you?
And the Frenchman, how could you describe him?
He's a sly one. He's also cross-eyed. Oh, but most handsome and very talkative. Ask Miss Lambert. She's quite keen on him.
Thank you, Mary.
Not to worry, sir.
You're gonna talk to me now that I have your gun?
Thank you, please leave me. I will answer only to the authorities.
I should reveal one of my hints. Miss, this revolver, is it yours?
Oh dear God!
Why would you require a pistol?
My father gave it to me shortly after I arrived. Dear God, what will the police make of this? I swear I did not kill my father. No!
But why would he press you to carry a pistol?
He seemed most anxious for my safety and his own. He told me that he would explain everything to me later, after the reception.
Miss, with your consent, I can investigate this matter.
Mr. Holmes, Mr. Grimble has explained to me who you are and what you do. I would be eternally grateful if you could find out who killed my father.
That's all right. I must leave you now. Be strong, miss.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes.
How about you?
Is there any news, Mr. Holmes?
According to many witnesses, Sir Bromsby seemed anxious.
Well, he really was a little worried these days, but it was most certainly due to the strains associated with the reception, ensuring a good time for his guests and the happiness of his daughter. They have not seen each other in 6 years. Perhaps he could not see her in the room.
Thank you very much.
I am at your disposal.
I beg you, give me some time to recover my senses.
Alright. This is the point where I'm now not sure what else I am missing. So let's check the rooms again.
Any more questions?
Thank you.
Not to worry.
Already saw those.
Table clip.
There's no reason to go upstairs. Don't see any interactables over here, so Let's enter this room. Nothing over here. Nothing left over here. There's always one little thing I'm missing. I like go through it with a fine-tooth comb. But something always eludes me. Nothing here, nothing there. Measure those. It doesn't want me to measure those as well.
Look.
Oh, there might be something else over here.
It's a pair of... It's a pair of moustache scissors. It's a pair of moustache scissors.
Yeah, but if I can pick them up while you're showing them to me. No, there's nothing else. Nothing else. Alright, so this room also seems to be clean. See, there's no interactable over here. There is nothing for me to do.
Handsome armor. Handsome armor.
Nothing else to do with the armor. Anything else to add?
Yes.
No.
I will. All right.
Nothing on the table.
This is dive. Nothing.
Let's go back in the main room. Oh, there we go.
Look, what's this?
Piece of dirty white clothes. Alright, so that we found.
It is not.
Sir?
Thank you.
Is this...
All right.
I don't think any of these have anything else to tell me. Oh, you know what? I never actually looked in the corpse area. Let me go back. Might have forgotten something on the podium or some shit. Well, no, it doesn't look like it.
Sir?
Never.
This always infuriates me. It's like, oh, what am I missing?
Is there... I am at...
You're gonna be like, please let me take a breath. Yup, okay. Oh,
I need some.
small box with white powder.
I asked myself, what was wrong
Yes!
while I was searching the house? I was supposed to prevent people from leaving by the back entrance.
I did it!
Here now, watch your step. If you're a reporter, there'd better be a doctor nearby, because when I get done with you, you'll need one.
Look here, my good man. I am a doctor. Dr. Watson, in fact.
Oi!
Believe me.
Dr. Watson? Hold on. Are you the Dr. Watson who writes about all those cases solved by Sherlock Holmes? Oh, I've read all your adventures.
Who are you?
Why?
My name is Lamb, Governor. I'm Sir Bromsby's coachman. Tell me, is he really that clever, this Sherlock Holmes?
Look sharp, Lamb. Sherlock Holmes and I require your able assistance.
No doubt.
Stand firm at the private entrance and make sure no one enters or leaves until Holmes or myself returns.
My pleasure, Dr. Watson. You tell Mr. Holmes that if anybody even steps on the lawn, they'll have to deal with Lamb. And I can tell you, there are few bold enough to dare my fists.
This door is blocked.
That gate is the only way in or out of here, Dr. Watson. I've already secured the other door on orders of Miss Lambert to avoid them nosy reporters. If anyone tries to make a break through the garden, they won't get past me.
Alright.
I leave you, Lamb.
Right, I'll stand guard.
So all we do as Watson is just talk to a bunch of people as soon as, okay, this way.
Hello. Please excuse me. I'm investigating the murder that has just happened.
Oh, yes. Well, that is good. What would you like to know?
Oh, what would you like to know?
Where were you at the moment when Sir Bromsby was killed?
I was near the stage and I saw him falling. Oh, my goodness. It was terrifying. I ran for the door, but despite all my efforts, it was blocked.
But your costume is torn. How did this happen?
When I was trying to open the door, the crowd dragged me away. I then fell to the floor. I fortunately suffered no harm, but when I arose, my beautiful costume was ripped and stained.
Alright.
Well, I won't disturb you anymore.
Yes, no, fine, thanks.
How about you?
Excuse me, may I speak with you?
Yeah, your servant, sir.
Are you one of the domestics employed by the hall?
No, I am the personal servant to old Satterthwaite. He is there, sitting on that bench. He seems right enough, but he refused a small drink for his health. Surely he cannot be well.
Tell me, what have you seen?
I heard the shot, then such a strange noise, and the next thing I know, all those money bags are running in a mad rush with their wives or whatever.
Thank you for your help.
My pleasure.
How about you, fella?
And you, what are you doing here?
I'm waiting for Miss Roundtree, the niece of that banker chap. She is inconsolable, all because her admirer of a mere 3 days' acquaintance had already abandoned her. Nothing unusual about that. There is no worse-tempered female than this girl. Well, maybe other than my wife.
Oh, good lord, that's a terrible sound for people swallowing something. Oh.
You heard the shot?
I just left to relieve myself there at the end of the garden, you see. Seems to me I missed a good race for the doors. Worthy of the Royal Derby.
Well, good.
Cheers.
Well, my good man, why are you here?
I am the manservant of Lieutenant Harrington. I accompanied him with the old general of the infantry or whatever. I seem to have drunk too much.
You don't say.
Did you hear the shot?
What shot? Oh, the shot. Great reception, isn't it?
I have to go. Are you all right?
Very good. Bye, madam.
All right.
Are you a relative of the victim?
No. In truth, I always mocked Sir Bromsby. I am upset because my friend did not arrive as promised.
As beautiful as she is cruel, apparently. Do you work here, miss?
Yes, my name is Sue. I am a maid for the hall.
Where were you when these tragic events took place?
I was serving when it happened. I ran straight for the door, just like the others. I swear his daughter must have done it. She's such a strange one.
Thank you, miss. We may talk with you again.
Oh, I hope so.
All right, one last person to talk to.
Miss Lambert, I have been looking for you. What a tragedy.
Simply dreadful. Can't believe what they're saying about Miss Lavinia.
Why did you open the gate so hastily?
I was so upset. I know now it was imprudent. I should have waited until the authorities arrived, but some of those gentlemen were so loudly insistent that I yielded.
Have you informed the police?
The village constable attended the reception. He left on his bicycle, I assumed to inform the proper authorities. He told me that an inspector from Scotland Yard was already in the area on official business. I know nothing about the nature of his business, but I was told he should arrive soon.
What sort of man was your employer?
Oh, he was a great man. The people of the hall considered him to be very strict, but I think it was just his way of showing a fatherly attitude. And he dreamed of this day when Miss Lavinia would return.
You have been very kind.
You are most welcome.
Damn it.
It's terrible.
Guests.
You have a list of guests.
Oh, of course. I have a complete guest list for the reception. It's inside the dining room. I believe the police will have need of it. Well, nevertheless, I must first caution them to pay little heed to the notations I made regarding certain names.
Why were these notations made?
Their purpose was to note particular seating arrangements for the meal and the recital, according to specific concerns. Those individuals whom I considered to be very important were marked with a circle.
What about the other odd marks?
Louis-Philippe, Monsieur de la Musardière, suggested this method of arranging the seating. He also advised me that those guests with poor eyesight and hearing should be seated so that the acoustics and lighting in their room would favour their enjoyment of the recital. So the first category was marked with a point, the second with a cross.
What do you know about this Frenchman?
He is from a noble family, but found himself forced to seek a vocation as a head waiter. He is so inspired and keenly sensitive to the details. At first, I was afraid that Sir Bromsby would take offence with his suggestions, but he had moderated his opinions regarding French culture due to the influence of his friend Horace Fowlett.
What did he do that was so extraordinary?
His assistance was invaluable. He took such concerns with every little detail. The dishes, the tablecloths, everything. He not only declined an offer of lodging here at the hall, he also deferred his wages until the end of the reception. Oh, I would be so glad if he were here now.
And where has he gone?
I love that the thing is, where is the Frenchie?
In fact, he found it necessary to visit his Harley Street physician. It seems his glasses were no longer helping with his eyesight.
You have been very kind, Miss Lambert.
You are most welcome. Oh, what a tragedy.
I have questioned everyone here. I'll go see if Holmes has finished on his end. Holmes, the gate.
I know, Watson, but it is of no real consequence. To question all these people would be a tiresome activity and would be of no value to this inquiry. Such ordinary inquiries are best left to the police. They have their purposes.
As you like, Holmes.
Now, Watson, to put your mind at rest, I can see that you have done well in my absence by placing the formidable coachman at the gate. I also imagine you have already spoken with Miss Lambert?
Yes, and some other people too.
Hold your report until I return to Baker Street. Meanwhile, be a good man and look to the gate. I must be informed the moment any official arrives. As always, I depend on your able assistance, Watson.
Oh, right, I wanna talk to this guy and examine things. I was like, what am I supposed to do? Oh, right.
I need something.
Let us pull out our magnifying glass.
I need something. I need something.
No, test
I
tube?
need something.
No.
It is a size 7.
Holmes!
Good day, Lestrade. Your haste deserves comment. One could say that you were right to hurry here, as this case is one of great complexity and challenge. Do not worry. I think that you will manage to get back to your mother before the dinner hour.
In the name of devil, Holmes, you go too far. Do you spy on me now? How do you know I've been to my mother's?
Dear Lestrade, it is really quite simple. I must admit my mind has been stimulated by the main course, which would be this unique case. However, I sometimes enjoy a light snack of the details which surround it. Observe, we are in the middle of the countryside, and you have some fresh yellow pollen, but only on your right sleeve. This implies a recent gift of flowers. It is a gallant gesture, but surely a meeting with the fairer of our species would take place in London. Considering the promptness of your arrival, it must have been a bouquet of flowers you took to someone who lives in this area. I presume that you have family living nearby, and I would think only your mother would warrant such an attentive gesture. There is a fresh dab of fat at the corner of your mouth, as well as on the bit of handkerchief visible from your pocket. This is consistent with a recent meal of a big piece of steak. Who would make a policeman
Hell yeah, steak.
substantial meal at this hour, and when a crime has been just committed? It could only be a mother thinking about the hard task awaiting her child.
Well, Holmes, when you explain it like that, it really seems quite simple. Good show. What about this Bromsby murder?
A unique case, as I've already noted, but any supposition would be premature until we consider Dr. Watson's report, as well as your own findings. Miss Lavinia has asked that the esteemed Dr. Watson and I give this case our full attention, though I doubt she is aware of all the implications of this case. Lestrade, you can find the victim inside, and I recommend calling upon his solicitor, Mr. Horace Fowlett. Mrs. Hudson is cooking a roast tomorrow at noon. Why don't you be our guest, and we can share our discoveries? What do you think? Watson and I must take our leave, as there is much to be done at Baker Street. Are you coming, Watson? Let us return to Baker Street.
Holmes always ahead of everybody else.
Everything is well noted. Watson, bravo. All of these elements will be a great help to us. As for myself, I have already told you everything that I know, and I can tell you nothing more until I receive answers to the messages I've sent with Wiggins. Now I must return to my experiments to test my theory regarding the substance I found at the scene of the murder. Meanwhile, I suggest you look through the books in the bookcase. Information that you find there might prove very useful in resolving this case.
I have to check 3 books on the shelves. Let's see.
2 and 3. Oh, I guess they're automatically added. So the thing about this game is that it also divides essentially annotations about things, documents, dialogues. Some annotations that we have are: in the circus room, blue tablecloths found in a drawer. They are shorter than the white ones found in the ballroom. In the corridor to the stairs, Miss Lavinia's handbag found on the floor. In it were train boat tickets from Geneva to London, Miss Lavinia's passport, and a ripe revolver of small caliber. Next tip, in the ladies' room, traces of a round object preserved in white powder. Next up, in the smoking room, wet ashy footprints from size 7 shoes. In the corridor to the kitchen, there is the smell of gunpowder. In the corridor to the kitchen, powder residue found on the door frame leading to the ballroom at a height of 1.65 meters, which is about 5.5 feet. In the corridor to the kitchen, a large black cloth found behind the statue. Considering its size, it could have hidden someone in that nook. In the kitchen, near the dustbin, someone has lost an interesting button from an artillery uniform. However, the cannons are drawn instead of carved, and thus it is a fake costume. In the ground outside a service door, cigarette butts with white flaky ashes. The name is only partially visible. CHIRR. In the ground outside a service door, footprint size 7. As for the books, ballistic science. Thus, it is easier to derive information about the author of a revolver shot if we know that they had aimed with great care. The situation is ideal if the shooter was in an enclosed space. Under pressure, a portion of the powder normally adheres to the wall at the level of the shooter's eye. It is enough to add approximately 15 centimeters to the height of the powder marks to arrive at an approximation of the shooter's stature, accurate to within 1 or 2 centimeters. So we're looking for somebody who's 1 meter and 80 centimeters high, more or less, which is about 6 feet. We can deduce the height and mass of an individual through a simple examination of their footprints left upon the ground. This is possible even should their stride be unremarkable. The stride is often shortened when an individual is moving with great caution to avoid detection, either prior to or immediately after they are having committed a crime. This hypothesis corresponds to almost every case. There are some exceptions. False conclusions are possible when the person who left the footprints comes from the region of the world where the morphology in regards to the feet is unusual. Consider a Chinese tradition imposed upon females born in noble families. They are compelled by such tradition to have their feet bound and squeezed from a tender age till the day of their wedding. This creates a significant disparity between the size of their feet artificially deprived of natural growth and the rest of their body. The probability of encountering such anomalies is remote. However, this work would not be complete if they were not included. The following indicates the correlation between shoe size and the average stature of people. So we're looking for somebody who's about 180. They should not have a size 7 shoe. So they were not... The shooter was not the same person that left the footprints. The same reasoning applies to stoutness. It is logical to presume that a corpulent man will leave deeper impressions on the soul than a leaner man. You should adapt your interpretations to these footprints to consider the type of stride. A running man will leave his mark, as we have noted, with a deeper impression at the toes in relation to the entire footprint. In regards to a typical or reduced stride, you need to walk beside the footprints and compare the respective impressions. If yours are deeper, it means that the author of the studied impression is lighter in weight than you and vice versa. Due to the effects of various conditions such as lawn, the ground may not be susceptible to the swarm analysis. From my experience, when the footprints are barely detectable in grass, as when the ground is scarcely broken, the person's weight is no more than 140 pounds. Study of tobacco. After characterization, the local herb is mixed with tobacco leaves in the manufacture of cigarettes, primarily by the Sherlock company. It is unlikely that this particular blend of tobacco would be found in any place other than Brazil, or even outside the Amazonian basin, primarily because the common effect of the tobacco mixture is a significant cause of industrial and agricultural decline in the production of this tobacco. It is common to encounter a Brazilian peasant who indifferently watches a bird steal the tobacco seeds that he has just found on the ground. Invariably, you will also observe a small bottle of flaky ash, characteristic of this tobacco, near his feet. So we have somebody who's 7 feet tall, smoking Brazilian cigarettes, who is apparently not the shooter.
Here is information which could be really helpful in our investigation. These Chirapaki cigarettes come from Brazil, and they seem to contain narcotic substances. What might they be?
I need to analyze the evidence found at Sherringford Hall. A piece of white cloth, a small box, various powders, and finally the hair. Let's get to work.
Alright, we should get to our examining table.
I need to analyze the evidence found at Sherringford Hall.
Yep.
Let me study this more closely. To analyze the nature of these stains, I must first soak the cloth in a solution of soap and water.
Okay, let me put it back then.
To analyze the nature of these... Now I shall place this cloth in solvent. Now I shall... The stains are sticky, but not very oily. Let's examine it under the microscope. A very fine white cotton.
Alright.
Let me study this more closely.
It feels like I should be able to... Oh, maybe I need to... do this?
Containing
Yes.
some white powder. Let's examine it under the microscope.
Oh, I want to probably compare all the powders together.
These powders are similar. I can see it from the grains. What would be the reaction if I heated this powder? It has no effect. Let's mix some water with this powder. Let's a glue or pasty substance, like starch. Let's examine it under the microscope. A man's hair.
Okay.
What would be the reaction if I heated this powder? Burnt gunpowder.
Alright.
Let's examine it under the microscope. A light feminine perfume. It seems to me that we have gathered all of the key elements, Watson. However, before we retire, let's summarize our findings. The questions should be answered yes or no and justified by the evidence or testimony received during the investigation.
Alright. First of all, let's summarize everything that we've learned. Found a piece of, in the ballroom, found a piece of fine cotton cloth that is characteristic of army officer gloves. It has soluble, non-greasy stains resulting from contact with some dirty object. We also have a piece of dirty cloth from the ballroom, very fine wet cotton characteristic of an army officer gloves. With regards to the stairs, powder found here matches the powder found in the ladies' room and in the small box found under the end table. Rice splatter very pulverulent, resembling the fair gunpowder but not offensive at all. Could have been used due to the quantity to conceal the presence of gunpowder. On the corridor in the kitchen, the black hair found in the furniture is oily, maybe due to the use of brilliantine, hair of a man. Powder found in the corridor of the kitchen is no doubt gunpowder. Red hair is found in wash bowl of smoking room. Very thin woman's hair. Huh. Alright. Yes, we know what weapon was used for the crime. It was the colonel that told us. Could the murderer escape through the stairs going through a second floor? No, because Mary was there the whole time. Oh, I guess I should. This is the correct one. The ashes found in the room are from English cigarettes? No. Their chair and the study of tobacco tells us so. Was the side door going to the kitchen open after the shot? Yes. Because the cook knew it. Did Miss Lumber choose table clothes and arrange tables? No. As she herself told us. And I believe Mary also told us. I thought it was Mary. No, maybe it was Carl. Yep, it was Carl. Do you have any idea of the murderer's height? Yes! We have the gunpowder of 165 and a book about ballistic science. Yes, other people had bad eyesight. We now know that the guest list, people with the X, I believe, have bad eyesight, which means this guy would have bad eyesight. And it is Miss Lambert that told us so.
We must have made an
Oh, damn it.
question should be answered yes or no and justified by the evidence or testimony.
No. First category was marked with a point, the second with a cross. Poor eyesight marked with a point. Yeah. Two other people had bad things. This one we're good. Yep, this is also, I believe, correct, right? Because they talk about, yep. Now, did Miss Lambert talk about the... Suggest suspended arranging the seating, so that's definitely it. And Carl also talked about it, right? We checked it. Tablecloth collar, yep. Let's read Carl's. I heard it again right after. So the door to the side door going to the kitchen was open after the shot. The ashes are not from an English cigarette. Mary told us that they couldn't escape from the second floor. No one has come their way, yep. Colonel Patterson told us what the... Red revolver of small caliber. Could the murderer escape through a stairs going through a second floor? No. The ashes are not from English cigarettes. Yes, it was open after a shot. Did not choose or arrange table. We have an idea of the murderer's height. Yes, other people had bad eyesight.
We must have made the question should be answered. We must have the question should be answered yes or no and justified by the evidence or testimony received during the investigation.
Oh, smoking room. That's why. Smell of gunpowder. Where are you? Piece of cloth, cotton cloth. Better here matches the powder. Respiratory purulent. Blue tablecloth, no. Nope. Please room. White ashy footprints.
We must have made the question should be answered yes or no and justified by the evidence or testimony.
No, I still feel like this is the correct one.
We must have the question should be answered yes or no. We must have the question.
Darn it! What am I missing? I thought everything was correct. Secret of silver earring. Yes, Colonel Patterson second time. No. Mary's dialogue. You're not English cigarettes. Service door, study of tobacco. Was the side door open? No. Oh! It's because I misunderstood. No. We're talking about this guy. This guy saying, "Alright, security at the door, to witness reporters." No, what is it?
We must have the question should be answered yes or no and just.
Oh. The door was blocked.
It is simplicity.
There we go. I had misunderstood the door that led from the corridor into the kitchen with the door that led from outside to the kitchen.
My dear Lestrade, I congratulate you on the precise quality of your notes. It is true that you have missed everything of importance, but you have spared me the trouble of eliminating the trifles and pointed me in the right direction. Ah, I hear familiar steps on the street.
Talk about a backhanded compliment.
Please be seated, Watson. You must be famished. Lestrade was kind enough to bring a copy of his notes, hoping it would be of assistance in this affair.
Indeed.
You can study them now and enjoy your meal. Please take your time, Watson, because bad digestion weakens our ability to reason.
Holmes, you will get no argument from me, as this dish is delicious.
We will go to Sherringford Hall with Lestrade when you're finished with your meal.
I must read the documents Holmes gave me.
Alright. Are in the document menu. Oh boy, okay. The crime. Reporting the investigation, the case of Sherrington Hall, Inspector in charge Lestrade. 14th of October, 1897. Before 11 o'clock in the evening, Sir Melvin Bronsby, engineer, architect, and contractor of renown, was slain by a single gunshot in his mansion, Sherringford Hall. The crime, the author of which is still undetermined, took place in the ballroom during the reception arranged by the victim in honor of his daughter's return to England. He had spent the last several years at a finishing school on the continent. Despite the presence of 100 witnesses, no precise testimony was obtained regarding the exact circumstances of this horrific act. Nevertheless, based upon certain evidences, there is a presumption of suspicion towards the daughter of the victim, Miss Lavinia Bromsby. In terms of crime, the bullet extracted from the corpse of the victim corresponds to the caliber of the revolver found in Miss Lavinia Bromsby's purse. The purse found on the floor was near the door from which Miss Lavinia Bromsby first appeared after the mortal shot was fired. All of the witnesses agreed that the sound of the shot originated at or near this very same doorway. The revolver is an old small-bore Wright, which is also a highly reliable weapon. The victim, even if he had few or even no friends, still might not have had enemies capable of committing this act. The strong unpopularity among his domestics was compensated by the attractive wages he paid them. His business partner spoke of him as a tough but fair player, according to the criterions of this environment. The fact that he spent long years in India and was solely devoted to his business precludes any crime of jealousy or passion. Finally, the modus operandi doesn't correspond to typical revenge killing by this or that Hindu sect, though these things do happen. The motive must then apply to his holdings or something quite personal. Another line of reasoning that points to Miss Lavinia Bromsby. According to A. Herman Grimble, the partner of Sir Bromsby, her relationship with her father had become so strained that Sir Bromsby visited his daughter only once during this past 6 years. The local constable must contact Mr. Horace Fallett, the attorney of Sir Bromsby, in order to recover the essential parts of his last will and testament, if it exists. The development of the crime. With regard to the distance and the angle of shooting, it would be reasonable to suppose that only an expert marksman could have succeeded in making such a shot. But a factor of probability still exists and admits other possibilities. The testimony of the group of cabmen, who were in the ideal place to observe such matters, saw no one leave through the service door after the shooting and up until the time when one of the domestics locked it from the outside. All the windows are equipped with thick bars, and the fortuitous presence of the maid at the stairwell indicates that no one ascended to that floor. The testimony of Miss Lambert, the governess, indicates that she noticed only 2 people absent from the ballroom during Sir Bromsby's arrival: Mr. Horace Fallett, the victim's attorney, and Miss Lavinia Bromsby. The domestics had been specifically instructed that all the guests were to be present during Sir Bromsby's entrance. I have been persuaded by all accounts that anyone who had left the ballroom had returned before Sir Bromsby's entrance. Since Horace Fallett hadn't gone through the gates of mansion of Sherringford Hall, the only person whose movements were unaccounted for by the time of the shooting is Miss Lavinia Bromsby. The chivalrous testimony of a young infantry officer who has confirmed that she saw her standing at a threshold at the door can be the only reason for not charging her with murder. As Miss Bromsby was in a state of deep shock last evening, according to the local doctor who examined her, her interviews was delayed until today. Technical report. General information about the man called Sir Melvin Bromsby. No official involvement as a defendant in any criminal or civil matter. No appearance as a witness in a criminal or civil law case. Complainant as to a robbery committed as a fair stand in St. Bartholomew on July 1861. Judgment of the court was favorable for the crown. I have no idea what the last sentence means. But we are, 36 years ago. Dear Sherlock, here is all the information that we know about the late Sir Melvin Bromsby. Born in 1842 in Staffordshire of a modest family, he finished his studies of architecture and civil engineering owing to the scholarship and financial assistance of his elder sister, who owned a florist's shop. After he was awarded his diploma, he was employed by a small firm, which he later left for a large enterprise, the Salinger Company. In 1872, he was sent to India to assist in the construction of a bridge for the army. At the end of his project, in 1874, he left his position with Salinger and founded his own enterprise in Bombay. At the same time, he courted Carlotta Campbell, the second daughter of Colonel Campbell, officer of the British Empire, commander-in-chief of an important local garrison. The military appreciated Bromley's straightforwardness and business acumen. Thus, the army entrusted him with many contracts for constructing barracks and other types of work. In 1877, he was married to Carlotta. His business flourished, and he hired a young accountant, Mr. Grimble, who later became Bromley's personal assistant. An ideal candidate for the position, Grimble excelled at his various administrative tasks. Sir Bromsby's business has continued to prosper over the years. In 1879, Carlton Bromsby, née Campbell, died giving birth to their daughter Lavinia. Bromsby's businesses enjoy great success. However, the fact that he has been awarded nearly all of the Army's civilian contracts has aroused the jealousy and suspicion of other British businessmen in India. It has been rumored that he gained his fortune through the exploitation of his Indian laborers and British workmen, poor working conditions, and miserable wages. In 1884, upon learning of the death of his elder sister, he decided to return home and prepare the transfer of his business interests to England. He also invested his money in several sewing factories, which permitted him to reduce his costs further and thus increase his profits. In 1891, he sent his daughter to study at a finishing school near St. Moritz in Switzerland. She has just returned to England several days ago. He was awarded a knighthood in 1892. There are several cases where his name has been mentioned because of suggested fraud with his contracts and ill usage of convict laborers at his factories. Such practices are common in London business circles, and his wealth allowed him to avoid scrutiny by the courts. Thus, when his behavior is weighed within the current climate of commercial morality, he is neither angel nor demon. Assuming his business assets are included, his current fortune would be measured in the tens of thousands of pounds. That would make him one of the wealthiest contractors in Britain. Wish you good luck with, in this case, Mycroft.
All this is very interesting. According to the evidence, it seems that the shooter was not in the ballroom or the corridor. Where was he?
Are you finished, Watson? Shall we go? Let us return to Sherringford Hall.
Alright.
Cabby!
Oh, I guess I should talk to her.
Sirs, please, go right in. Please wait here, gentlemen. I will see if Miss Lavinia is receiving callers. She's in her room.
Well, Mr. Grimble, I didn't expect to see you here at this hour.
I am worried about Miss Lavinia, needless to say. I also thought I might learn something of interest about the investigation. This difficulty, if it persists, can do great harm to the business.
Sir Bromsby and Miss Lavinia had rather strained relations, it seems.
Well, Sir Bromsby and Miss Lavinia have never got on very well. Of late, their distance had grown due to the influence of several incidents.
What sort of incidents, precisely?
I do remember one instance in India, where Sir Bromsby attacked a friend of Miss Lavinia. He was our native cartman's son. It seems he spilled a jug full of water that was intended for Sir Bromsby to wash his face. Bromsby began cursing and thrashing the boy before his...
What a wonderful man!
Miss Lavinia took her friend's part and spoke to her father most rudely.
The devil, you say? What occurred next?
There is no one in the whole of India who would have dared address Sir Bromsby in such a manner. He stayed closeted in his office for the entire day. The next day, he fired the carter. But despite these incidents, I am still sure that Miss Lavinia sincerely loved her father.
I'm sorry, but I have to go.
All right, as you wish. I shall remain here.
I have to leave you, sirs. I need to verify certain things.
It's just like an empty hall.
The more we consider the facts of this affair, the more mysterious it becomes.
The important thing is to be precise and rigorous in your analysis. But at Scotland Yard, we know this well. Reminds me a bit of bad business I resolved. I believe it involved a theft of sticks from a polo team.
I have myself engaged in this sport but a few years ago.
Really?
Do you enjoy the sport of polo, Mr. Grimble? No. You cannot imagine the benefits of this sport. To achieve perfect form and union, man with horse.
A little like the waltz, eh?
Exactly. Except that with this sport, mounting is at full speed, which complicates things singularly. I don't follow you.
The team from Brixton, in my opinion, is the finest example of how polo should be played.
Perhaps they may well be. But what would you say about that last match of the Old Goats Rangers?
They were absolutely splendid. But what of the Brixton team?
Weren't they the cause of some ruckus about a matter of corruption?
Oh, jolly good. Have I told you about my polo team? Even Brits. And what am I supposed to do here? Is there anything in this view? No. Let's look at the kitchen, I guess. Oof.
May I come in?
Well, oh, take that!
Pardon me. It is already quite dead, you know.
Oh, you frighten me. I have a case of the nerves, you understand. I cannot find my bottles.
On the table.
No, not those. That is a poor vintage. The 2 bottles that the old crap, God rest his soul, ordered up from London for the party. Both were 18-year-old whiskey, perfect for the digestion and the heart's sorrows.
And who could have taken them?
I'm sure that the barman from Hertford stumbled them. Who else would know to take those particular bottles over the others?
Okay.
Very good. I will leave you to your chicken then.
That's it.
Anything else to do over here? Oh, there are some gloves over here.
To whom does this...
Yes, the classic, oops, I forgot my gloves. Guess I'm gonna have to be back. Anything else for me to click on? No. We got a purse.
Lavinia Bromsby. I do not favor ransacking a lady's personal property, but I think she will be understanding.
I mean, I hope for you. What does she have in her bag?
A program for the London Opera.
Alright, Harrington's letter soon sounds interesting. Dear Miss Lavinia, excuse my boldness and do believe in my most sincere condolences and honorable affections in this terrible time. I cannot excuse myself if I allow you to face all of this on your own. I ordered my valet to move my possessions to the Queen's Arm, which is the nearest inn to Sherringford Hall. I would be greatly honored if you could allow me to make myself useful to you. And my new lodgings am but a few minutes away should you require my assistance. I took care to forget my glove that you mentioned, so that my visit to call on you would not invite any undue speculations or gossip. Sincerely and eternally yours, Lieutenant Hurd. I smell love. Anything else? Nah, doesn't look like it. Go through.
No, I need more information.
Nothing over here, it looks like.
Closed.
Alright. Guess this is probably it, I hope. Yes, okay, good.
I feel quite ready to answer your questions now, Mr. Holmes. Yesterday I was not in my right senses. I do want to encourage you on the sound advice of Mr. Grimble. He explained to me that everything my father built during his entire life may collapse unless this gossip ceases and this matter is resolved. Do you agree, Mr. Holmes?
Whatever the truth is, I will reveal it. First of all, it is necessary for me to know your acts and your movements during this unfortunate event.
First I attended my appearance in the powder room. Then, as my father requested, I was standing quietly just inside the ballroom. I powdered my face one last time, while everyone, including myself, was watching my father. Suddenly, I heard this noise from behind me, and then I saw my father stagger and fall. Oh, my dear Lord. So I ran to his side and found that he was dead.
What was your relationship with your father?
We barely saw or even wrote to one another for 6 years. But the father that met me upon my return was not the man I remembered. Something in his eyes had changed. There was a wariness there and perhaps even some unexplained anxiety.
Forgive me, but it seems Lieutenant Harrington has made himself responsible for your care.
Oh, he has proved himself to be most gallant and considerate. I have no friends here, other than Mr. Grimble. Mr. Harrington neither requested nor expected any recognition for his kind interventions, and was most attentive yesterday.
So far.
Thank you for answering my questions, miss.
Oh, it is me who should be thanking you.
As I mentioned to you before, if this investigation is to proceed properly, it'll be necessary to examine your father's personal documents. May we see his office? I suppose Sir Bromsby kept his papers in this drawer.
Watch out!
Good God!
It must be one of Fowlett's inventions. Sir Bromsby mentioned he had asked his lawyer to devise security measures to protect his private documentation. I remember now that Fowlett has a unique passion for mechanizations and automatons. I had no idea what kind of devices he had created.
Inspector Lestrade, I give you leave to tend to your appearance. I doubt you can return to the yard in such disrepair. I will now examine this room according to my methods.
My superior methods.
This book has been marked. Let's examine it. The young Lavinia, with her grandfather, no doubt. I need something. A Masonic symbol, no doubt.
All right. let's see what we got out of all that.
It is the pieces of the English edition of the Indian newspaper.
Alright, medieval French art. The first example of this art from now on, named crude colored woodcuts, date back to the first decade of the Middle Ages. At that time, there was neither any artistic nor any other rationale for hiding one's picture inside another. The motivations were sometimes subversive because certain subjects were forbidden to be artistically represented. Today, this technique is still rarely used, and a great majority of crude colored woodcuts conceal only animals and joyous personages in baroque landscapes. Young Lavinia. Letter from Fowler to Bromsby. My dear friend, I would not miss this reception at any cost. I cannot help but envision the sight of Miss Lavinia's eyes when you make your announcement. Fear not, I have not received any bad news from my friend, the customs official. I will see you then on the day after tomorrow. Your friend, Horace Fowlett. P.S. This book will certainly help you to understand my preferences in art that you found so debatable during your last visit. One more challenge. Bromsby, Grimble, and someone else. Translated from French, Jean de La Fontaine Fable. The Bombay from September 21st, 1896. Remember, I still have the original of the puzzle concerning the code in my... 55 is a number to be found by adding. Alright.
A remarkable portrait of the late Sir Bromsby. Ideal spot for a hiding place. Obviously impossible. Let us see whether we can find other evidence.
Oh, behind me. I think there's stuff behind me. Is there anything else here I have already looked at? This also reminds me. Save. Alright.
This bridge is quite impressive. It must have been a considerable undertaking.
Look here, this message just came from me. 2 days ago, Mr. Horace Fowlett was seen leaving for the North Country. The constable for the town of Flatton, where the solicitor resides, obtained this information from Fowlett's neighbours.
I have a bad feeling about this, Watson. What would you say to a short jaunt to Flatton to finish off our day?
No objection at all, Holmes.
Sure, John to Flatham.
Cabby!
Hello, gentlemen. Constable Fletcher here.
Good day, Constable. Can you help us?
Yes, Inspector Lestrade of Scotland Yard wired me about your arrival and instructed me to do as I would with the inspector himself.
Would you be so good to take us to the neighbours who spoke that night?
Come with me. Here we are.
Excellent!
Graham, this is a detective from London. He would like to hear what Mr. Fowlett's told you that night.
So Mr. Fowlett left?
Yes, he made his departure the day before yesterday, in the night. Not that this is the first time he's behaved in such a way. Anyway, he's not like others, and it didn't seem odd to see him leave at that hour, despite the heavy downpour.
And how is he, this Fowlett?
I'd call him an eccentric, you see. Not that I have anything bad to say about the man. His place is full of baubles with springs and mechanisms. There have been explosions. Yes, upon my word, explosions.
Explosions?
There he be.
What?
A good day.
Did you actually see him depart?
Well, a shutter on the barn had come loose and was beating about in the wind. I went out to set it straight in that moonless night. Then there he was. I saw him leaving. I shouted out, "Hey there, Mr. Fowlett!" He waved and...
Hey there, Mr. Fowlett!
...to the north for a fortnight.
Do you know where he went?
I couldn't quite make him out with all the wind and rain, but it seemed to me he left on some business matter. I think a fellow came to talk to him about something.
Interesting.
Well, it may be nothing, but if you think that the things he has in there might explode, you should better go and check.
Do you know a way into Fowlett's house?
Here's the key to the door that he left with my wife. If you don't mind, I won't accompany you. I prefer to remain alive and in good health a good bit longer.
You say he had a visitor?
Oh, I don't know. It seems to me I saw someone at his place at nightfall. But people often visited old Fowlett at odd times. Fellows who brought him pieces of I don't know what for his contraptions. There was also a friend who often came by. I think his name was Sir Glumsby or Flomsby. But it couldn't have been him because he's much taller than the chap I saw.
Alright.
Good. I will go see what I can find. Wait for me here.
As you wish.
And I'm like, Watson, that didn't mean you as well, you know? Alright, so before we go in... Actually, can I walk around the house? Yes. Look at him running. Oh.
Footsteps, size 10.
Alright.
Close.
That's right, I got the key.
Like that? I can't enter like that.
What?
Close.
I'm confused.
I can't enter like that.
Oh, I might need to talk to Lestrade to be like, yo, is it cool if I enter? That's the stupid thing. No? This guy. Lestrade's surrogate.
Mr. Holmes? Constable Fletcher, I must ask that you allow me to enter alone. Do you agree?
Yes, Mr. Holmes.
Alright.
And now, Watson, if you could be so kind, return to the station and speak with the station master. Question him until you are satisfied that you have a detailed description of the party who took the last train to the north 2 days ago.
My pleasure.
As soon as you're done, please return here. Keep close watch, for I may need your assistance inside. Wait for us.
All right.
Alright. Let's actually go in now.
My word, I can't see anything. Ah, Fowlett liked his jests.
Alright, I suppose I can just turn on the lamp.
I need to be cautious. These items may contain traps, such as those found in Bromsby's office.
Alright, let's see what we got.
Size 6. It is a size 7. These books warrant a closer look.
Okay. Sir Bromley's friends, they call this Kalidasa poetry. The Villager and the Serpent. As it tells of a peasant, charitable but not too wise, one winter's day was traveling around the land he landed. He saw a serpent stretched out in the snow, cold and frozen, paralyzed, having little time to live. The villager took him home, and without considering the cost of such an action, laid him out before the fire, warmed him, and revived him. The frozen serpent began to sense the warmth, which revived his soul as well as his evil nature. He lifted his head a bit and whistled, called his button, and struck against his benefactor, his savior, and his father. Ingrid, said the peasant, as thus you repay me, you will die. And with these words, in righteous rage, he took a knife and sliced the beast, making 3 serpents with 2 cuts, a trunk, a head, and a tail. The evil one tried to rejoin himself, but it was to no avail. Charity is a virtue, but be careful toward whom there is no point showing it to ingrates who seal their own doom.
A pheasant and a serpent, the very symbols found on Sir Bromsby's speech.
Alright.
Gin! Blood. Blood.
I do love the way he says, a blood. Blood.
I need something.
Matches, maybe?
I need something.
No.
White flaky ash.
Alright. Somebody came to visit him. The foot size 7 person, clearly. Smoked for a little bit, then something happened. Broke a bottle. Meanwhile, someone wearing size 10 had tried to come in from the back.
I can see a faint gleam. Now I see better. The blood was cleansed with this mop.
Anything else?
Blood would...
Oh, okay.
Closed.
Alright. As we know, everything needs to add up to 55. And just to double check, and this is probably going to be how we're going to end the stream. 5, 14, 20, 25, 37, 44, and 11, 55. Okay, so here we're only one missing. That's 16, 29, 39, 54, so it should be a white one. 2 missing, only 1 missing here. Okay, let's see. 10, 21, 29, 39, plus 14 is 49, 53, so it's black 2. 15, 30, 40, 46, that's 9. Nothing there yet. Nothing in the diagonals either. No, no, no. Here. 17, 20, 30, 9, 47. 47 to 55 is 8. 15, 30, 45, 49, 6. 21, 30, 47, 8. 10, 20, 33, 39, 48, 7, 10, 27, 32, 39, 45, 52, 3. 10, 30, 6, plus 15 is 51, so it should be 4. Let me double check that. Let's go straight this time. 16, 23, 26, 29. Plus 15 is 44, 49, 55. Okay, good. Let's see, what else? Diagonals? No, not yet. This one. 10, 20, 28, 37, 46, 54, 1. Oh. Did I miscount? 10, 28. Plus 18 is 38. It's 46. 46 plus 8 is 54. Shit, that's a problem. Oh no, there is one. Okay. No problem whatsoever. Good. What else can we do? 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2. Okay, we seem to be out of 2s. Let's try to pick one which has 2 of these. Okay. So we have 14, 15, 30, 40, 48. We need 7 with 2 blacks. It has to be a 4 and a 3. Let's try doing the 4 and a 3 there. Now here we have 10, 20, 31, 46, 46 plus 9, let's see, 10, 29, 35, plus 16, it's 51, so we would need a 4. We don't have a 4. So this should be a 10, and the 4 and 3 should be swapped, and now we can just use a 3. Oh, and we're back in a 2-2-2, huh? Okay, well, that's the way it is, I guess. So vertically here we have 15, 31, 40, 48. We need 7. It's gonna be 5 and 2. Let's start doing it this way. So here we have 9, 12, 24, 34, 48. We would need a 7. That works. So then this has to be the 5. Now down here, 18, 29, 32, 46. There's the 9. Boom! Booyah. Yeah, we have time to play a little longer. Waiting for food delivery, not quite here yet.
Fowler created this device to most likely perfect his invention. These certificates come from different places. He must have travelled a great deal, particularly in South America. Very interesting.
Let's see. Oh,
I need something. I need something.
okay.
The pillow is missing. Greasy substance. Very interesting. There is Fowlet. He is not tall and appears to be quite obese.
Oh, chill. Obese? What? This guy? Come on. Come on. He's chunky. We can be chunky. Alright, and what's this?
An automatic shoe brush. What an inventor this Fowlet is.
That's kind of funny. Alright.
Closed.
I need the
Closed.
key. No, the key doesn't do anything
Closed.
apparently. Okay.
The blood was cleansed with...
Can I look at the...
The blood was...
Apparently not. Have I gone in there? I don't think I've gone in here. Oh yeah, no, this is the kitchen. Okay. Because I'm missing a piece of information for the next puzzle. At least I believe I'm missing a piece of information. Sure looks like I'm missing a piece of information. Alright. Keep looking.
What an odd house.
Oh boy. This is getting weird. Can you imagine getting into the house when it's dark and seeing this fucking creep? Like, what in God's name?
I shall select a card to find the logical sequence of what this automaton displays.
What cards do you play?
Okay, all aces.
Place the correct...
Clearly.
What cards do you play?
There needs to be a diamond. It's gonna be a figure, so I bet it's this. Ouch. Try it again.
Cards to find the...
What cards?
I should also look at the way they're positioned, I guess.
What cards do you play?
Yeah, this is just the second column, right? What?
I shall select a card to find the logical sequence of what this automaton displays.
What? What cards do you...
The 7. It actually goes 3, Jack, 7. Then why not the 10? I'm confused. What? It should be this one, right? Right? I'm very confused. Oh. No! Shoot! Oh, game crapped out on me. We're gonna have to replay a bunch of Father's House. Okay, well, that is unfortunate. I guess this is where the stream will end, because I'm not gonna replay all of that right now. Okay, well, that's a sad ending to a fun stream. I'm glad I saved while I was here, at least. Let me just finish this up just very briefly. There we go.
This bridge is...
Alright. Yep. We know.
Cabby!
Hello, gentlemen.
I guess we can probably mash our way through some things.
Here we are.
Egg!
Graham.
So, Miss... And how it... Did you... Do you know...
Alright. Mash it. Goodbye. Back to the inspector.
Yes.
You don't mind, right?
Constable.
And now...
Okay, Watson, go.
Wait for...
All right.
Good man. Let's go down this way first.
Footsteps. Size 10.
Alright.
Close. My word, I can't see anything.
That's okay, we're gonna grab these matches. Very funny.
Found it. Be cautious.
Alright.
Size...
Size 6. Those shoes are size 7. The kitchen. I'm in this and grab the ash. I don't know if this matters, but let's check out the...
Blood. Blood.
Right. Grab the... whatever book.
These books... I can see if...
Turn on the lantern.
I need something.
What? I did.
Ah, now I see better. The blood was clear.
Oh, right. Where's the foot thing here?
These certificates. Very.
Alright, we did this honestly the first time. I'm not gonna do honestly a second time. I'm just gonna cheat. 1, 10, 3, 6, 8, 7, 3, 3, a 9, another 3, a 5, and then a 4, next to 4, 2. Then a 9 below that, and a 2 to the right, and then an 8, and then a 1, and then a 4, and the last 2. Alright. Over here.
The pillow is missing. There is...
Yeah, he's not a beast, once again.
Greasy substance.
And hey, we already made up all the progress that we lost. Let me go ahead and make another save. Given what just happened.
What an odd house.
Alright, it's you and me again, bucko.
I shall select a... I need to place the correct card in its hand. What card?
What card do you play?
Swear to God, that makes no sense whatsoever. Should have been the queen, but...
What card?
Let's see. 2... 7... Oh, there's no... Oh, I guess this is meant to be hearts? No. Damn it.
I shall select a card to find the logical sequence of what this...
What card?
That's the problem with logic puzzles, is that a lot of the time there might be more than one valid solution.
What card do you play? What card do you...
It's gonna be the 4 of clubs.
You won.
Alright. We got a piece of paper. The first animal came from the shore, it was afraid of the powerful waves. The second came from the valley, was afraid of the river with fast streams. The third came from hills and was hiding from the downpour. The last one that knew a welcome came down from the mountains. It wasn't afraid of water, but it heard the wrath of the Lord roaring. Shore, streams... shore, valley, hills, mountains.
A pheasant and a serpent. These paintings are from the town of Epinal.
Probably valley, right? We have a doe.
There might be another drawing hidden among these pictures. Let's examine them carefully.
There's a bear in the hills. What's hidden here? I'm trying to unfocus. I don't really see what's hidden here. Okay, here there's an eagle. These are definitely mountains. So blank, doe, deer, bear, What's hidden here? I God, I feel like I almost have it. It's one of those things where once you see it, you probably can't help but see it. Just don't. Well, we should have enough to try and somewhat guess our way through, I guess. This way. Come on, Sherlock. Come on. Oh, wait, actually. This first. Thank you.
Look, what's this?
I actually needed that toy. Alright. I believe it was here.
The animals must enter Noah's Ark in the proper order.
Alright, so we said it was the doe was second, the bear was third. I really wish I knew. I wonder if it was a crab. Let's go with crab. And let's put the eagle last. Apparently he graduated from Winners University.
It is elementary.
Sweet.
Someone tried to force this safe.
Oh boy, yeah, somebody definitely did. Draft of Sir Bromsby's will. According to the wishes of Sir Bromsby, this will is to be written in favor of Herman Grimble, unless he predeceases the testator, regardless of Miss Lavinia's majority. She will be paid a substantial pension during this period. In the event that Miss Lavinia should marry before the death of Mr. Grimble, then she and her husband would exercise control over the Bromsby assets to the prejudice of Mr. Grimble. Regardless, Mr. Grimble would retain his right to oversee the daily operations of Bromby Enterprises and over any portion of dividends according to the personal investment in the aforesaid business. Find out the information in legal text about the majority and probable success of the heiress to contest such document. Letter Bromsby to Fowlett, December 11, 1896. My dear friend, I will not be able to pay a visit next week as we had arranged. A terrible revelation has been added to my usual worries. I shared with you earlier the boast of my nephew when he was employed at the cement factory and the accusations he raised against Grimble. The recent visit of Her Majesty's tax official has done little to lessen these suspicions. The lack of time and perhaps courage does not permit me to reveal Herman's machinations. They will reveal the complete truth as soon as possible. How could I imagine ever being betrayed in such a way? Your friend, Sir Mervyn Bromsby. Bromsby to Fowlett. My dear friend, as I told you during my last visit, the difficulties between Grimble and my nephew have taken a critical turn. It seems that this ungrateful young man has gained the upper hand, and if he doesn't complain anymore, the foreman and some of the workers are doing it for him. I beg your help. I don't think that young Wyatt is a ne'er-do-well, but his acquaintances here in London have a negative effect on him. Would you kindly tutor him in his studies far from the city? I think that in your company he would find real value and would return to the right path. I'm eternally in debt to this poor mother and cannot stop thinking about his future well-being despite his ingratitude. Your friend, Melvin Bromsby. Miller Simpson Kirby et Collins's case. The court returned a verdict of guilty for Mr. Miller and Mr. Kirby as accessories in the accidental death of Louis Castigliati during the brawl at a place named the Inn of the Golden Apple in Dexham on the night of the 20th to the early hours of the 21st of February 1892. Mr. Kirby and Miller have been sentenced to 3 years of hard labor. The court returned a verdict of guilty for Mr. Miller, Simpson, Kirby, and Collins for the charges of robbery. Said robbery took place at the Inn of the Golden Apple during the night of the 20th to the morning of the 21st of February. Mr. Miller, Simpson, Kirby, and Collins are each sentenced to pay a fine in the amount of £125 to Mr. Train Cassiali. Caracas, Venezuela, 16th of May in 1894. Dear Mr. Follett, I have personally welcomed the nephew of your friend. This Wyatt Collins doesn't seem to be a bad fellow at first glance, but I think he needs a firm hand. He was hired as a supervisor for the copper mines near the border. I believe that hard-working way of life that we lead will have a health effect on him. Sincerely, Chief Foreman something Sullivan. British Embassy in Brazil. Notices are by given to that a British subject, Wyatt Collins, was arrested by the Brazilian authorities in the region of Guacamayama. It is our embassy's policy to inform the proper interested parties in England when a British citizen stands accused of a crime and lacks the adequate means to secure a proper local barrister for his defense. Since the individual in question may be subject to a term of imprisonment, if you desire to meet his needs, you must make arrangements through the Brazilian embassy in London, R. Chestwick, attaché. Mr. Follett, notices are by given that Mr. Wyatt Collins was discharged. As we were earlier informed, Mr. Collins has been enjoying a half-free order for the past 10 months due to his good behavior and the influence of the prison warden at Guacayamo, who is a former soldier of Her Majesty's Army. Under the former conditions of his sentence, Mr. Collins was required to remain within the territory. Thereafter, he is free to leave the country. R. Chestwick, attaché. Series of numbers. This is a classic code, which I will not spoil just yet.
Just found a key in the garden.
Alright. And I believe that my food has now been dropped. So, as soon as I can get out of this freaking room. Near the location where we're going to continue next week.
Holmes, Murray has just found a key in the garden.
It should be done quickly.
Safe. Alright, that's gonna do it for today. So thank you so much for watching. You can find my streams at twitch.tv/gameswithnick and my archives at youtube.com/gameswithnick. We're currently playing God of War, Final Fantasy X, and Secret of the Silver Earring. So you can see my schedule posted on Twitch. I might skip this Sunday and play on Friday evening instead, just because of what my schedule looks like at the moment. But in any case, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time.